Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Star Flames and we're back with another video. In this video, we're gonna talk about Ghislaine Maxwell, the convicted accomplice of Jeffrey Epstein. She has been moved from a low security prison in Florida to a minimum security federal prison camp in Bryan, Texas. Now, let's talk about it, shall we? Because the internet has been screaming corruption ever since her transfer has taken place. I also believe there's corruption involved, if you ask me. Now, what many critics have been citing is that normally when this happens, there's a lot of control about the narratives behind the scenes. Because why would people say this? Well, if you're thinking logically, you would remember that at first they told us that the file is going to be ready any day now. They just need to go through the file. And then after that, they told us the Epstein file, it was all a hoax. It's not real. There's no Epstein file. So why would all of a sudden Ghislaine Maxwell be transferred to a dormitory style prison after meeting with the government, right? So basically that's what took place. She met with government bodies. They had some kind of dialogue. It was revealed that she allegedly gave like 100 names, right? I've been seeing that a lot. Now, whether we know for sure what was given, what was exchanged, there's one thing we all, we have some inclination or some insight or our common sense can tell us that something is being cooked up behind the scene, wherein they are shifting from the originality of what had taken place versus the transition of what is going to be, what had happened, which is going to be a made up story. So you know that she's not just giving information. You know that by now with this transfer, her narrative is being controlled. The actuality of what had taken place that landed her behind bars, all of that is going to change, and it's going to have this shift in the sense where she's going to be the fall guy for this entire Jeffrey Epstein plot. Because in case you guys are not keeping up with Candace Owens or Tucker Carlson, I believe that you all should. It will give you guys some insight as to why it is that Ghislaine Maxwell is about to be the Epstein fall guy. Because if Ghislaine is the Epstein fall guy, then it shifts blame from a lot of people that are now questionable. One of such individual includes Donald Trump. So, as it relates to Ghislaine transfer, the transfer occurred shortly after Maxwell met with Deputy U.S. Attorney General Todd Blanche regarding the Epstein case, right? So, the new facility, Federal Prison Camp Bryan, is known for housing nonviolent and white-collar offenders. And you know that when it comes to things like sex trafficking, human trafficking, those do not come under the category of nonviolent because you're literally taking an individual right away from them and you're putting them in the atmosphere of horrible things to happen to them. And if you guys know like the stories of what happens during ST and HT, it is pretty horrific. So how do you transfer someone who has been involved in horrific crimes? How do you take them from that to placing them in a facility that is known to host like white collar crimes? So as they've said, it's white collar criminals, that is nonviolent individuals who have committed nonviolent acts, such as even though the people on the receiving end, like let's keep it real, the people on the receiving end of these activities, they do face violence, but because it is seen as okay, at least you walk away with your life. But when someone commits something like credit card fraud, identity theft, the people who get affected by these, those people do experience some violence because they're on the receiving end. And many of these people, they do get sick, and there are cases of death as well. So I find it, the law to be very interesting when it comes to those crimes, right? Now, as I've said to you guys, the environment that she's in at present, it has less restrictive environment than her previous prison, with limited or no perimeter fencing. Other notable inmates at the Texas prison includes Theranos founder Elizabeth Holmes and Jen Shah of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And when you hear a housewife behind bars, normally it's like fraud or those things. That comes under the category of white collar criminal. Now, the Bureau of Prisons has not publicly stated the reason for the transfer. After all, can they come out and say anything when they know that they're being put under a microscope by the public? Absolutely not. It's going to take them a while to really come up with something, because they want to ensure that when they come up with an excuse, the public is not able to dissect it so easily. But I mean, it's millions of us against a handful of you guys, so that's impossible. So they may potentially remain silent on this move, because what excuse can you give the public at this time, knowing that you are already under a microscope? Now, the Bureau of Prisons has not publicly stated the reason for the transfer. The move has been condemned by victims' advocates who have raised concerns about preferential treatment and possible cover-up. We all know this is a cover-up. We all know it's corruption, right? We know that. Now, Maxwell, as you guys know, she is currently serving a 20-year sentence for her role in SD, sex trafficking, underage girls with Jeffrey Epstein. Her lawyers have also filed a petition with the U.S. Supreme Court to overturn her conviction. And the reason why her legal team would take such a bold and brave move is, after all, if she was Jeffrey Epstein's co-accomplice and they say Jeffrey Epstein didn't do anything, it means that they would be lying on Ghislaine Maxwell. She's behind bars for absolutely no reason. And as such, her legal team is going to take advantage of such move. So while, many people might be upset at it, what her legal team is doing is not anything personal. It's just that her legal team, they're being paid to represent her, and they're going to represent her to the best of their ability. It's about making an image and reputation for themselves. And if the government is saying Epstein is not guilty, then all of it, the rest of it really does not make any sense whatsoever. But that's all I have to share in this video with you guys. Let me know what's your take on this matter. While you're at it, do all you need to and support your girl. Peace.